Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Right now I'm walking up this steep incline, this slope up a mountain in Pennsylvania. Nobody's around. Used to be train tracks on this mountain. Used to haul coal up it back in days of old. Used to be a coal mining operation down below. And but now it's all just remnants, rotting timbers from the railroad ties. That's about it. But we're here today to talk about UFOs. Well, that's the steep incline that I just climbed, walked up. And on the top of this incline, there's this cave. Used to be it's a tunnel that went under the incline. The incline continued to the top of the mountain, where those coal cars were used to be hauled from the town down here called Mahanoy Plain up to Frackville on the top of the mountain. And this tunnel here was part of another mining operation that went off on this more level road here. There used to be tracks up here too as well. So we're going to take a walk along this other path up here and talk about, well, I mentioned before UFOs. Well, actually, in particular, what we're talking about here today is the Las Vegas case. You know, it's like a bad penny. It keeps turning up. There's just so much to it. So much to think about. I mean, if you saw the last couple of podcasts that I did, which where I was reviewing some of the other anomalies there, in addition to Mr. Chase him out of the yard, in addition to Lurch over the fence, in addition to Mr. UB, undeniable backbreaker, there's a whole bunch of other things going on there, as I've been pointing out. And I pretty much spent all day yesterday working on another video that focuses solely on the cab of the forklift or front loader or whatever it is, the heavy equipment. Wait till you see that. I was hoping to have that one done last night, but I still wasn't done. There's just a lot of weird stuff going on there. But though this weekend I will have another video, another podcast episode that talks about those anomalies in addition to the other anomalies I've already talked about. And believe me, folks, there's a lot more. Believe me. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today while I'm walking around these beautiful woods. I'm here to talk about, you know, the reason for all of this. You know, of course, I've been stating my theory, and of course, about what happened. Like my theory was the running theory, and it might be right, I don't know. The running theory is that craft, whatever it was, suffered some sort of a malfunction and needed to make an emergency landing. Came down in the Kenmore's yard in Las Vegas just before midnight on April 30th, 2023. And while they hurriedly fixed the craft, they waited for, or were waiting for someone to rescue them, some of their brethren to get them out of there. They had to stave off the pesky humans with the handguns. And that's all really it was. That was a theory. And then by the time the police showed up, they were gone for the most part. That's the theory. But that doesn't make me right. You know, Preston Dennett, the longtime UFO investigator, says he's of the mind that when they show themselves like this, when there's any kind of display, there's a lot of different displays that have been made by these craft over the years at drive-in theaters, you know, the Phoenix Lights, Stephenville, all that stuff. Preston believes, and I think he's probably right, that they're making a display. They're letting you know that they're here. They don't care. They're not trying to hide themselves. They're slowly revealing themselves to you. And I've been thinking about it, and maybe that's what this was. Maybe what happened in Vegas was revelation by them, purposely contrived. I mean, and we'll talk about why. Okay, first off, why this could be a possibility. Think about it. About 2 months or so, give or take, before this incident happened. Angel, when he was talking after the event happened, he was talking with the Las Vegas-based podcaster Doug Papa. He told Papa that some lady, some total stranger, an older woman, had approached him at a gas station about 2 months before this incident happened and warned him that something was going to happen. Told him that there were going to be either demons, he couldn't remember what, demons or aliens or something showing up in his property. And Papa even said to him, "Are you sure you want to say this? People are going to think you're nuts." And he said, "No, this is what happened." And I believe Angel. I think it did happen. Because why would he say that? Why would he try to? I mean, it doesn't make any sense if it didn't happen. Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. But he said that's what happened. And that family, to me, they're a religious family. They seem very sincere about everything. I believe them 100%. I did from the beginning. I didn't think there was any chance that they were making this story up. So keep that in mind. They were forewarned. They were like set up. Maybe this was a plan in advance. The beings decided, okay, where would be the perfect place to stage this, what we're going to do, this announcement that we're here. Why not that property? You know, they probably looked at that. It's like, this is an ideal place. We could stage it, and we're going to use this Kenmore family as they're going to be the ones we're going to target. We're going to even warn them in advance. For all we know, that old lady wasn't even human, or maybe it was a human under some sort of alien control. I know this sounds wild, but and it sounds wild to me. This is just a theory. I'm not saying this is what happened. So then it happens. And what happens? Okay, the more I look at this video, right, and you see all in addition to the ones we were able to prove, the big three, in addition to those, you have all this other anomalous stuff going on. Faces popping in and out all over the place. All over the place. And in the next podcast, you're going to see that trend continues in the cab area. Probably even more so. I mean, it's stuff that I've been finding. Yesterday was unbelievable, incredible, you know, inexplicable. And maybe that's how they would tell us that it's real, though. Think about it. I mean, say, if you want to make an announcement, you're this extraterrestrial race, you know, people aren't going to believe. Say right now I'm walking down this path, a spaceship lands in front of me, an alien being gets out, you know, says hi, and then gets back in the spaceship and flies away, and I film it all on my video camera. Who's going to believe that? They're going to say it's CGI'd or something. There's going to be a big giant debate, right? Even though it is real, even though it was real as far as I was concerned, but people still would have trouble believing it because of the technology we have with regard to special effects these days. Somebody could easily say, hey, this was faked. It's too good to be true. And as we know, the Vegas video, that 1 minute and 41 seconds of unbelievable, incredible, inexplicableness, right? That's not what that was. In fact, a lot of us, when we looked at it, we didn't see anything. We couldn't see anything because we didn't even know what we're looking for. But then it took us time. It's taken us time to see what was there. It's taken us a lot of time. It's well over a year now, and we're still making discoveries in there. And the more discoveries that are made, the more the realization sets in that, oh my God, this is real. You couldn't have made this up. You couldn't have CGI'd something like this. It's just impossible. Okay, I just reached the spring here. There's a spring on this path, and I'm going to take a break here at the spring. I'll show you the spring. Yep, there's a mountain spring. It's been here for all my life. Well, probably a lot longer than that. Comes down here. Yes, beautiful spring. It's nice to see that it's still running. Yes, sirree. Anyway. So, yes, this could have been a setup by them from all along. This is the way they're announcing themselves to us. Like, look at here, we're here. How could we deny it now? I mean, you see the way it all went down. It's impossible right? That it would have been impossible to fake something like this. You see all of the faces popping in and out. I mean, we can't do this kind of stuff. We don't even have the imaginations to dream up that kind of stuff. I think we do now that we see this, right? But before this happened, nobody could have faked this. And as we all know, this video was looked at by crime scene reconstruction expert Scott Roeder, and he deemed that him and his team determined that there was no special effects added to it after the fact. The video was the original video that was filmed that night, and based on the statements of the family, this family was very believable, and they were telling the truth, and they have the evidence to back everything up that happened. Now, as I was saying, it's been stated that they have moved out of there. There were things that were happening to them after the fact, poltergeist-like activity, and that's something that seems to happen in these cases. But I guess the bottom line is that what I'm trying to get across here is that maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe this was on purpose. Right, this was all done on purpose, and we're just this is how they're revealing they're telling us this. See, this it's easy. We're actually taking it in slower, the reality of this situation. This is these beings telling us, showing us that they're here. This is their message. It's a display. It's an announcement. This is their version of landing on the White House lawn. I mean, this is a way. I mean, anybody who sits down, I tell you, anyone who sits down and researches this, investigates it, there's a lot of different moving parts to it, right? But when you look at the totality of the evidence, from the statements, the 911 call, and then of course we have the evidence on the video itself. We have the security cameras that were on the property that failed after that object came down. Not only on the Kenmore's property, but also on their neighbor's property. So for some reason, the security cameras just conked out when that object came down. All we really have is that cell phone footage, and of course, there's the body cam footage from the Las Vegas Metro Police Department that we never got to see yet because they want us to jump through a bunch of hoops to see it. And hopefully we get to see that someday, but we're at a point, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. That 1 minute and 41 seconds. You look at that 1 minute and 41 seconds, you take into account the testimony from the family, the 911 call, the way the police reacted, the way the government reacted. There were Homeland Security cameras put up in that backyard for some reason. They had a strange car, look like either government agents, weird government agents, all wearing sunglasses, driving around in a black Suburban that stopped to look at them, all turned their heads all at the same time, and then turned back looking forward and drove away. What was that all about, right? There's a lot of weird stuff about this case, right? You take into account the totality of the evidence. The woman from Arizona, there was a whole bunch of people from various states, not just Nevada, who saw that fireball coming down from the sky. She reported it to the American Meteor Society, and after it came down, she saw 2 UFOs flying around, blinking in and out of blinking on, blinking off, and then they were just flying around that area where the object went down. There's so much to this. And then you look at the video, that 1 minute and 41 second video, and not just the proof that we now have that shows alien creatures there, right? Undeniable backbreaker, UB, there's no doubt. It fits the description of the Greys, right? And then you have everything else, all the other anomalies, the big three, and then all the other anomalies. Are some of it, when you look at these things, is some of it possibly pareidolia? Yes. Is some of it camera artifacts? Most certainly. Is some of it motion blur? There's a lot of motion blur going on, yes. But there's just too much of this. There's too much other stuff going on in addition to that. The cloaking technology that they were using. It's something there. There was something happening. There were creatures there. Was this their announcement? And they knew it would take us time to figure it out, that we weren't going to figure it out the next day. Had they showed, when people, there were some people who put pictures online, including I saw something from Richard Doty recently. He was attached to some picture, which was obviously some sort of a CGI creation of an alien being. I know I don't trust Richard Doty, I'm afraid to say, because of stuff that happened in the past. And I know he's still out there in this field, right? But I'm sorry, I don't trust this guy. You got to trust your own judgment with this kind of stuff. I trust in myself with this. I trust in my own judgment. And I know that my judgment is correct with this. I know that these people weren't lying. I know that it wasn't a hoax. I know that something came down in their yard. I know that there were alien beings there. Now the question is why, like Scott Roeder had indicated in the past, why are they here? Where are they from? What do they want? Right? And maybe what was happening in that case, that theory that I've been knocking around here talking about that they needed to make repairs. That could be totally wrong. They could have been trying to tell us. This could be their announcement, and this is the way to let us know that they're here. Think about it. This could be the announcement. That's what this could be. It really could be. I mean, there's faces popping up all over the place. This thing could have been set up by them from the very beginning. I know it sounds crazy, and now it's an alien conspiracy, But the bottom line is that it's real, and there's just no denying it once you look into this. So this isn't for everyone. Then the more we talk about this, I understand why the government has been keeping the secret. How do you try to explain this to people? Maybe it needs to stay here outside on the perimeter for a little bit longer, while the rest of us, the adults in the room, try to figure out what's going on, study it, talk about it, right, and just let it slowly bleed out to the public, because it's a lot to dump on someone. Someone who's didn't really think about this throughout their lives, and all of a sudden they're looking at this stuff and, oh my God, this is real. These people have been telling the truth for all these years. It's a lot, folks. It's a lot to take in. So I understand, but we have to get over it. I mean, we're at a point now where we need to have this movement toward disclosure, and this is going to be part of it. There's a lot of different things that have been happening over the last few years since 2017, right? And it's taking us in that direction. I mean, you have the whistleblowers. You have Lou Elizondo with his new book, Imminent, that just came out, which, by the way, is awesome. And will be in an upcoming episode sometime next week. I'm going to do a deep dive into Lou Elizondo's book. It's fantastic book. Great stuff. They have David Grush, the whistleblower. You have all these other people stepping forward. Christopher Mellon. Some people really putting it out there. I know some people don't. There's all this kind of friction in the UFO community. I know some people don't like this person and that person. And some people, I don't care. That's all that stuff is immaterial. I know. Sometimes I'll complain about Jeremy Corbell's reaction though about to the Vegas stuff. You know what? I'm over it. Right at this point, I don't care anymore about that stuff. I mean, Jeremy Corbell made some great documentaries. I love his Weaponized show. George Knapp, he's a great guy. I have nothing. To me, right, the bigger thing here is that we need to start wondering what the hell's going on here, and look at this evidence and just rejoice in it in a way. Like, look at this incredible whatever they're able to do here. And you'll see in the following. I'm going to do another video, like I said, another podcast where I talk specifically about that cab area. I've been looking at that, and there's some incredible things going on there. Some incredible things. And there's stuff all the time. There's UFO sightings all the time. The one lawyer who was a friend of the channel from Los Angeles, California, John Billingsley. I'll leave a link for his video. He just sent me a video link yesterday from a new video. He has a YouTube channel just growing. It's called Latchkey Hustle, and he's been uploading videos of flying saucers and he has another interesting one on there. Just I'll leave the link for it, where there's some sort of object comes flying off from space. This is just from a couple of months ago in one of the space shuttles, or they're outside Earth's atmosphere, and you can see something come rising up like it's a UFO, it looks like. I mean, this is happening all the time. They're all over the place. It's real, folks. This is real. But I'll leave a link for that so you can check it out. It was an interesting video, I thought. Yeah, here's what we just got to keep moving forward, keep the faith. There's a lot of us out there now who have come to terms with this. We know we have enough evidence we have proof now. We know for a fact. There's some of us out there. This Vegas stuff really takes you over the line as far as anyone should be concerned. And we just keep looking at it, studying it, trying to figure out what we're seeing. How did this happen? Over time there will be other experts that will look at this stuff and try to come up with answers. It's beyond human experience, the things that you're seeing in these videos. It's beyond human experience, and that's why it was so difficult. That's why it's taken so much time for us to get to this point, I think. I mean, even though that had happened, we've been talking about this now for well over a year, right? Since late May, June of last year, and here we're 13 months later, 14 months later, and we're still talking about it, and we're still learning things from it. And this to me, it might not have been an accident, folks. It might not have been an accident. It might have been that was their plan. They wanted this to happen. I'm not saying that that's right either. I'm just saying that this is a theory. That's all we can do. All we can do is speculate. But yesterday when I was looking at that cab area, and I was thinking about the stuff I've already been talking about in the previous couple episodes. I'm thinking to myself, this is just so much. There's faces popping in and out all over the place. All over the place. And I think it might have been on purpose. It might have been on purpose. Okay, I'm walking back to civilization again. But before I do, I'm going to stop at that tunnel one more time. Because I'm sure that's probably some of you are probably wondering why I didn't go in there. I used to go in there. I would not recommend anybody go in this tunnel anymore because it's caving in big time. I hear footsteps walking around me up here in the mountains. Hopefully it's just some animal and not a bear or not a big animal. Anyway, I'm closing in on the tunnel here. As you can see, that tunnel looks extremely dangerous. You can see the part of it there. There's light coming in right back there. You can see the light coming out because that's all caved in. And it keeps caving in. It gets worse and worse as the years go on. But we used to walk through there as kids. I wouldn't do it now. I'm sure there's some people who still brave it, but it's a dangerous proposition. Dangerous proposition. Anyway, hey, I want to say thank you all for joining me today. Until next time.